The 1942 no Mintmark wheat penny might appear to be a simple copper coin, but it represents a powerful blend of wartime history, traditional American design, and surprising collector value, especially when rare errors are involved. Minted. At the Philadelphia Mint, this coin doesn't carry a mint mark, which is typical for coins produced at this facility during that era. What makes this coin special is not just its connection to the turbulent early 1940s, but the presence of extremely rare era varieties that can fetch up to $65,000 at auctions. To the average person, a 1942 penny might seem like pocket change, but for collectors, especially those who understand the hidden potential of minting anomalies, this coin could represent a jackpot waiting to be discovered in an old jar, roll, or inherited collection. In order to truly appreciate the 1942 wheat penny, it's essential to understand the era in which it was produced. The United States was on the brink of full engagement in World War II, and the U.S. Mint was already preparing for wartime material shifts. Copper, the primary component of cents at the time, was in high demand for military ammunition, wiring, and equipment. While the U.S. wouldn't fully switch to steel cents until 1943, the looming material shortages meant that plancher stock was tightly monitored, and minor production inconsistencies became more common, laying the groundwork for the creation of rare transitional and era coins. While the majority of the over 657 million 1942 cents struck in Philadelphia were normal copper coins, a few slipped through with rare errors, such as off-metal strikes, double dies, and even wrong plancher errors, which today command massive premiums in the numismatic world. Let's take a look at the design of the 1942 wheat penny. The obverse features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, which first appeared in 1909. "In God We Trust" arcs across the top, Liberty is inscribed to the left, and the date 1942 appears to the right. The absence of a mint mark indicates the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse displays two stylized wheat ears, flanking the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum along the upper rim. This classic wheat design is why collectors often refer to the coin as a wheat penny or wheat cent. It's simple, iconic, and symbolic of a resilient America during one of its most challenging times. The standard metal composition of the 1942 penny was 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, with a total coin weight of 3.11 grams. However, due to the onset of war-related metal rationing and transitional processes in the mint, rare era coins were born. These include a few known examples of 1942 wheat pennies struck on silver dime planchers, foreign coin planchers, or other off-metal blanks. Additionally, there are known varieties with strong double dies, especially on the obverse in the inscriptions or date, and even die cracks and cud errors that occurred due to overuse of minting equipment. When such rare varieties are authenticated and graded by professional companies like PCGS or NGC, their value can skyrocket, especially in high mint state, MS grades. Some ultra-rare era-rich 1942 no Mintmark wheat pennies in MS66 to MS67 red condition have sold for over $50,000, and examples with unique errors or uncirculated brilliance can reach or exceed $65,000 in today's auction markets. It's important to understand how such high prices are justified. First, the error factor plays a major role. Collectors actively hunt for pennies struck on dime planchers, which are lighter in weight and slightly smaller in diameter. These coins often have missing design elements at the edge due to the smaller plancher, and when authenticated, they are seen as high-value minting anomalies. Second, the grade of the coin, its condition, is essential. While most circulated 1942 pennies are only worth a few cents to a couple of dollars, a flawless uncirculated example with full red luster, designated as RD, and zero contact marks, can multiply in value exponentially. Lastly, eye appeal, color, and strike sharpness contribute to the market demand, making exceptional pieces from a high mintage year like 1942 stand out. Let's talk about recent market trends. In auctions held by top firms such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, collectors have bid aggressively on rare 1942 wheat pennies with errors. A 1942 cent, struck on a silver dime plancher, certified MS64 by PCGS, sold for $51,750. Another, featuring strong obverse doubling, realized over $40,000. Coins with similar errors combined with high mint state grades have fetched $60,000, $65,000, especially if accompanied by strong provenance and certification. These sales prove that even in a year with high production, rarities and anomalies can hold extraordinary value for the informed collector. Adding to the excitement is the possibility of finding one. Unlike ultra-rare coins from the 1700s or 1800s, 1942 pennies are still commonly found in circulation, old family jars, inherited collections, or mixed wheat cent rolls. And while the copper version is common, only a trained eye, or better, yet a certified grader, can confirm if a penny has the traits that make it a five-figure treasure. Tools like coin scales, magnet tests, and coin microscopes can help collectors determine weight and visual anomalies before submitting the coin for grading. Collectors and dealers agree that the 1942 no Mintmark wheat penny is one of the most exciting coins to explore for hidden gems. Its combination of high mintage, historical significance, potential for dramatic mint errors, and lingering presence in public hands makes it one of the few coins where average people still have a shot at discovering something rare. Educational content, coin hunt videos, and TikTok and YouTube shorts have only boosted its popularity, making the 1942 wheat penny a hot item in modern collecting circles. In summary, while a regular 1942 no Mintmark wheat penny may be worth only a few cents, rare error versions and uncirculated specimens in pristine condition can reach values of $65,000 or more. These coins represent a perfect storm of historical context, minting anomalies, and collector demand. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious beginner, examining your 1942 wheat pennies closely could uncover an incredibly rare and valuable piece of American history. Always remember, not every treasure gleams with gold or silver. Sometimes, the most valuable coins are the quiet ones hiding in plain sight, like the 1942 Philadelphia wheat penny that tells a story of war, craftsmanship, and unexpected wealth in a single cent. Next up, the 1922 Liberty $1 coin, also known as the 1922 peace dollar, holds a special place in American numismatic history. While millions were minted, only a tiny fraction possessed the features and rarity to be worth a staggering $77,000 or more in today's collector market. This iconic silver coin tells the story of a country recovering from World War I, hopeful for peace, and striving to represent strength, liberty, and unity in its currency. With its bold design, silver composition, and historically significant symbolism, the 1922 peace dollar is a prime example of how certain coins, especially rare mint errors or exceptional grade specimens, can become incredibly valuable over time. Let's first look at the historical context. Following the end of World War I, the U.S. sought to commemorate peace through its coinage. This led to the introduction of the peace dollar series in 1921, replacing the Morgan dollar. The coin was designed by Anthony de Francisci, whose artwork was selected through a national competition. The obverse features a youthful, radiant Lady Liberty, facing left, with flowing hair and a spiked crown, inspired by the Statue of Liberty. The word Liberty arcs above her head, while the motto, "In God We Trust," appears, notably using the classical V in place of U, a unique artistic decision that adds character. Below Liberty is the date 1922. The reverse showcases a majestic bald eagle perched atop a mountain, clutching an olive branch with "Peace" inscribed below, symbolizing the nation's hope for global peace after war. The rays of the rising sun complete the backdrop, emphasizing renewal and strength. The 1922 peace dollar was struck in huge numbers, over 84 million coins, primarily at the Philadelphia no Mintmark, Denver D, and San Francisco S mints. Most were made in high relief in 1921, but by 1922, the U.S. Mint switched to low-relief dies to extend die life and simplify mass production. This makes high-relief 1922 trial strikes especially rare and desirable. These pattern coins, as well as proofs and die varieties, are among the most sought after by collectors and can reach sky-high prices at auctions, in some cases up to $77,000 or more for pristine or error examples. The standard composition of the 1922 peace dollar is 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it a total silver content of 0.77344 troy ounces and a diameter of 38.1 mm. with a weight of 26.73 grams. This intrinsic silver content makes the coin valuable even in poor condition. However, it's not the metal value that drives prices into the tens of thousands. It's the rarity, condition, and unique varieties that do. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1922 peace dollar lies in its varieties and errors. Among them are the extremely rare 1922 high-relief proof peace dollars, struck on specially prepared dies with hand-polished surfaces and sharp details. Fewer than 15 of these coins are known to exist today, and those in high-grade condition, with proof 65 or higher designations, have fetched more than $75,000 to $85,000 at auction. Additionally, there are well-known die breaks, doubled dies, and weak strike errors, especially from the worn dies of mass production runs at the Philadelphia Mint. Some of these error coins, when authenticated and graded by professional services, such as PCGS or NGC, have sold for over $50,000, with the most exceptional examples reaching the $77,000 mark or higher. Another contributing factor to high values is the coin's grade. Most 1922 peace dollars were heavily circulated, resulting in a common range of very fine, VF, to extra fine, EF, condition coins in today's market. These are typically worth between $20 and $40. However, coins in mint state, MS condition, especially those with full luster and minimal contact marks, are exponentially more valuable. A 1922 peace dollar, graded MS 67 or higher, can easily reach tens of thousands of dollars, especially if it's a rare variety or has exceptional eye appeal. PCGS price guides and recent auction results have shown that a 1922 MS 67 plus peace dollar with a stunning strike and bright surfaces can realize prices in excess of $77,000, especially if it has a documented provenance or appears at a high-profile auction. It's also important to mention the 1922 die variety VAMs, Van Allen Malice numbers. These varieties include VAM 1A earring die break, VAM 12 doubled reverse, and VAM 2A with die gouges through Liberty's hair. These subtle but significant design differences are catalogued by specialists and tracked by collectors. When discovered in high-grade conditions, these rare VAM varieties bring in premiums that far exceed the prices of ordinary examples. The rarer the variety, the higher the price, and in this case, $77,000 is not just possible, but real, as confirmed by auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers. The 1922 peace dollar's legacy also carries cultural significance. It was the first US dollar coin specifically issued to symbolize peace, marking a sharp departure from the earlier, more traditional liberty imagery of the Morgan dollar. The eagle on the reverse, resting peacefully rather than aggressively, spreading its wings, reflects America's post-war desire for diplomacy and rebuilding, rather than conquest. The Art Deco styling and symbolic messaging embedded in the coin's design have elevated it to an icon of the early 20th century. These factors, combined with its limited high-grade survivors and error types, have ensured continued demand in both US and global coin markets. In recent years, renewed interest in silver stacking and numismatic collecting has brought fresh attention to peace dollars, particularly the 1922 issue. The market has seen an increase in searches and sales of this coin due to educational content on YouTube, TikTok, and collecting forums. Many newcomers are discovering these coins in old family collections, estate sales, or even mixed coin bags. But only the truly rare or well-preserved examples will fetch tens of thousands. If you believe you found a 1922 peace dollar, weigh it, check for mint marks, and inspect the relief and surface details. Then, if it looks promising, get it authenticated and graded. In conclusion, while the 1922 Liberty peace dollar was produced in vast quantities, the rare variants, such as high-relief proof strikes, doubled dies, die break errors, and superb gem uncirculated grades, have driven the market value of certain specimens up to $77,000 and beyond. This coin represents more than just silver content. It's a symbol of peace, a tribute to American artistry, and a gateway into a thrilling world of treasure hunting, history, and collecting prestige. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a curious beginner, Next up, the 1968 no Mintmark Washington quarter dollar may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but hidden within this vintage American coin lies a story of rarity, transition, and unexpected value. While millions of 1968 quarters were minted across the United States, a very small number of coins struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, particularly those with unique mint errors or preserved in exceptionally high mint state condition, have become the crown jewels of Washington quarter collectors. One such rare example of a 1968 no mint mark quarter, featuring a dramatic error or in pristine uncirculated condition, has sold for up to $17,000, making it one of the most valuable quarters from its era. To understand the significance of the 1968 quarter, we must begin with its historical backdrop. The late 1960s marked a critical transition for U.S. coinage. Just 3 years earlier, in 1965, the United States Mint officially removed silver from circulating quarters, switching to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices and increased production costs. By 1968, this transition was complete, and all circulating quarters were made of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This change altered the intrinsic value of the coin, and it also meant that collectors were paying close attention to details, especially any unusual die strikes, planchet anomalies, or minting errors. The Washington Quarter, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, features his right-facing bust on the obverse. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin includes the inscriptions "Liberty" at the top, "In God We Trust" to the left of the portrait, and the date 1968 at the bottom. The reverse shows a bald eagle with wings spread, clutching arrows, and an olive branch symbolizing strength and peace. The inscriptions "United States of America," "E pluribus unum," and "$quarter" complete the patriotic image. It's a design familiar to many Americans, and one that remained largely unchanged until the state quarters program launched in 1999. In 1968, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and for the first time in nearly a decade, San Francisco, S, which resumed minting coins for circulation. Most Philadelphia quarters did not carry a mint mark, making them standard. However, what makes the 1968 no mint mark quarter especially valuable is the emergence of rare errors and a small group of quarters preserved in flawless mint state grades that are incredibly hard to find today. The standard weight of a 1968 quarter is 5.67 grams, and its diameter is 24.3 millimeters. But some of the high-value quarters deviate from this due to being struck on the wrong planchet, such as a nickel or foreign coin blank, resulting in weight discrepancies and size inconsistencies. These errors, when certified by grading agencies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, can skyrocket the coin's value, especially in the eyes of high-end collectors and auction houses. Let's explore the most valuable varieties and errors that have appeared in the 1968 no mint mark quarter. One of the most coveted is the double die obverse, DDO variety. This occurs when the obverse die shifts slightly during hubbing, causing parts of the design, such as the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date 1968, to appear doubled. These double die coins are exceptionally rare and striking, and when found in uncirculated condition, their values can exceed $10,000 to $17,000, depending on the strength of the doubling and the grade. Another rare error is the off-center strike, where the quarter's design is struck significantly off the planchet. A well-centered off-strike that still shows the date and important features can command thousands of dollars. Additionally, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and strikes on foreign blanks have been reported in this year, and their scarcity drives intense competition among error coin collectors. For example, a 1968 no mint mark quarter struck on a dime planchet, making it lighter, smaller, and missing parts of the design, sold at auction for over $15,000 due to its uniqueness. But even without visible mint errors, condition plays a pivotal role in value. A perfectly preserved 1968 no mint mark quarter in MS67 or MS68 grade with full strike, sharp details, and original mint luster is incredibly rare. Coins in such condition are referred to as super gems, and their market value is significantly higher than average examples. In fact, auction records show that these high-grade 1968 quarters, especially those designated as full strike or full details, have realized prices as high as $17,000, especially when certified by PCGS with a population of fewer than 5 in the top grade. The story of the 1968 no Mintmark quarter also includes confusion among novice collectors. Because the Philadelphia Mint did not use Mintmarks at the time, many people confuse no Mintmark quarters from 1968 with rare errors. It's important to note that not every 1968 quarter without a Mintmark is rare. It must be either in near-perfect condition or exhibit an error variety to be worth a significant sum. The overwhelming majority of circulated 1968 quarters are worth only face value or slightly more in worn condition, but the rare exceptions are where the true value lies. Collectors often search through bankrolls, inherited coin jars, or estate collections in the hopes of uncovering one of these treasures. Sometimes people unknowingly spend coins worth thousands of dollars because they don't recognize mint errors or know what to look for. That's why knowledge of strike characteristics, coin weights, and the appearance of doubling or off-metal striking is so important in modern coin hunting. The market demand for high-grade 1968 no Mintmark quarters remains strong. Coin forums, collector clubs, and auction houses continue to see rising interest in clad-era quarters as more collectors complete Washington quarter sets. In particular, the hunt for high-end and era 1960s quarters has intensified as silver coin collecting becomes more expensive, and new generations of collectors turn their focus to the post-silver era. Coins like the 1968 no Mintmark quarter with errors or MS67 plus grades fill these gaps, driving up demand and price. To conclude, while most 1968 Washington quarters are common and worth little more than their face value, the rare no Mintmark versions with dramatic doubled dies, off-metal plancher errors, or those preserved in superb uncirculated condition can command prices as high as $17,000 or more. These coins are highly prized for their rarity, condition, and connection to a fascinating transitional era in U.S. coinage. If you come across a 1968 quarter, especially one without a Mintmark, inspect it carefully. You could be holding not just a quarter, but a small piece of history with exceptional value in today's coin collecting world.